धन्यवाद. श्री तिरुची शिवा.
Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, I am standing on behalf of the DMK party to oppose this bill. The Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly has passed a unanimous resolution not to pass this bill, but the government is on its process. We reject the bill in its entirety because it is legally flawed, constitutionally indefensible, and morally reprehensible. Sir, why a certain community is being targeted is our question. I don't want to go into the merits of the bill or in detail because many others have spoken. Moreover, it is of no use. It's a futile exercise because this government has got ears, but it won't listen to the opposition views. It has got eyes, but will not see those who are suffering out of anything. Beautiful. It has a mouth only to spare words against the opposition and have hands to unleash power against the marginalized. Sir, the intention is very important. They say that it is only administration purpose. No, it is not so. It is not reform. It is to control and to take over the administration of a certain community who have got charitable endowments and they involve in religious activities. Intention is malified and so deplorable. Sir, we repose our confidence in one thing. When I am not going into the merits of the bill means not that I don't want to spend my time on that. We think we are very strongly believe that since it is anti-secular and ultra-virus of the Constitution, the solution is 5 kilometers away. The Supreme Court is there to strike down. If at all it is legislated or passed, it will. We are very certain about it. Sir, it is not all evasive arguments we are making or accusations against them. The government says often, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. I rely upon him. He gave the translation. Together with all and development for all. But they have a different policy for Muslims. Exclusion, marginalization, and dispossession. Sir, this furthers and deepens the sense of alienation and insecurity in the minds of the Muslim community in this country. Yes. Sir, one has to realize this is a sad day. We have to say that because the Muslims across the country are waiting what is going on in this house. Sir, I would like to remind once again, the Constitution has assured them of many fundamental rights, but they are all totally deprived during this regime. I have many a time told, sir, in the year 1947, during partition, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was the founder of Pakistan, said that I have formed a country for the Muslims. All Muslims come to Pakistan. But the Muslims in India said, we are Muslims, but India is our nation. Yes. Yes. Have they not contributed for the development of our country? Are they not in the military? If at all India is now an atomic power in the world, it is because of Dr. Abdul Kalam. If Aditya 1 is a success that has gone to the sun and sending informations, it is because of one Shahi from Sengotai, an Islamic girl, who is the director of that. There are many such instances. I don't want to say all those things. So we can very clearly understand the government is very keen in pushing the bill to be passed. So we have proposed some amendments. It is not of technical corrections, but to safeguard against a grave injustice to a section of the people in this country. Sir, we are afraid that once again and again, blows are being given to the secular thread of this nation. The framers of the Constitution debated elaborately. No other constitution in the world debated for 3 years. They debated every aspect because India is a multilingual, multi-regional, multicultural and multi-religious country. So this country cannot be for one. But this government is advocating for one language, multilingual, they don't accept. They advocate for one culture and one religion, that cannot be accepted. See, we are all very much close and affiliated with each other. Sir, earlier my friend Derek often used to raise a concern that the bills referred to the committees are decreasing day by day. And last year he said that is 1.4% or something. Now we don't want even that, sir, because we are experience says that no use of going to any committee. The example is the Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Amendment Bill 2025. My Tambi, Muhammad Abdullah, yes, he is my Tambi, I am his Anna. He is a Muslim, I am a Hindu. He is my younger brother, I am his elder brother. Mr. Syed Nazim, Nadimullah, who spoke, all were in the committee. And the Parliament Minority Affairs Minister yesterday spoke, and today also is repeatedly telling 248 stakeholders appeared before the committee. But how many recommendations you have included in your report? None of them. All the recommendations which have been given by the opposition side members have been disregarded, and whatever the ruling faction have given, the members in majority, they have been adopted. So the JPC, in the exercise it went on, what for we sent it to the Joint Parliamentary Committee? Because we should have a good outcome. The scrutiny will be more elaborate. Because the Parliament, because of the consent of time, every party will be limited. Whereas in the JPC or Standing Committee or Select Committee, all parties are equal, and so they can contribute as well as the stakeholders can come. The stakeholders came, the members who participated gave their views, repeated meetings, sir, but outcome was nothing. Even the dissent note was not first accepted. Only after raising it in the House, it happened so. So, the constitution of a JPC also did not serve purpose. And now it has been passed there and here also, because of your majority. Yes, go ahead. How long you will be going ahead like this? There will be a time to put a full stop to everything. Sir, it's the right time, I should recall. On August 18, 1947, Eid was celebrated across the country in independent India, that is 3 days after the country attained independence. The eastern and western parts, because of the partition-related violence, thousands of Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs were being killed. In that situation, there was an apprehension whether Muslims will be able to celebrate Eid. On that day, that is on 17th of 1947, August, in Kolkata, Mohammedan Sporting Club, it's a very big ground, there, Mahatma Gandhi and 4 to 5 lakh people, both Hindus and Muslims, participated in that. Gandhi delivered a short speech by saying in the beginning, my first duty is to wish Eid Mubarak to all those Muslims who are present here. There was a time when both the Hindus and Muslims embraced each other on this day. I must confess, Gandhi proceeded to add that after many years, I am witnessing this scene. He said the members of the Muslim League, National Guards and Congress volunteers present in large numbers and expressed fond hope that the unity of people of diverse faith on that occasion would be everlasting. And he remarked at the end, I will never be able to forget the scene I have witnessed today. But what is going on today, sir? I am very painful to say this. 2025 Eid. The government which is ruled, Haryana state government which is ruled by the BJP, they have removed Eid, the festival, from gazetted holidays to restricted holidays. If it's a gazetted holiday, all firms will be closed. There will be a festival mood. Whereas if it's a restricted day, holiday, only those who will be interested will have holidays. Why, sir? Why this discrimination? So also in Uttar Pradesh, what it happened? On the Eid, the officials have come and warned that on the day of Holi, they said 200 mosques have been covered by tarpaulins because it should not be seen. And they have also been insected, fell on a Friday. It may be 52 times in a year, Friday comes. If at all you don't want to namaz, do it inside or even in your terrace. This happened. When Gandhiji at the time of partition violence was going on, could gather people from both community and was felicitating them, Eid Mubarak. In this independent country, after 75 years of independence, and we have our constitution has been adopted, a state government is preventing the Muslims to celebrate, and during a Holi, it is being assumed. It is being assumed that the Muslims will not tolerate Holi. Who said? They are also very happy. I'll cite an example. It's only depending upon the role of the leadership always decides the peaceful life or not of the people. In Tamil Nadu, sir, Madam Finance Minister is here. On Ganesh Chaturthi, there will be a procession of Hindus carrying the idols of Ganesh. On the way, Muslims will be standing in crowd and offering them cool drinks and sarbat, expressing solidarity. That is my state. And moreover, Kerala also. In all the states where the opposition parties are ruling, we see this. We live in solidarity. And there is one Punainallur Mariamman Koil in Tanjavur. Kumbhabhishekam was there. Muslim women came to give gifts to that Ma idol in that. What is that, sir? When in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, West Bengal or Telangana, we all are living in solidarity. The festival of one and the other is being celebrated in unity, whereas Haryana state government is removing it from the gazetted holiday, and the Uttar Pradesh government is not allowing them to come out on Holi. Means, are we living in an independent country? Are we in a republic country? This is the mindset of this government. The BJP's one of the agenda is only that. Sir, these are all things I say with pain only. And 2004 Human Development Report on the theme of cultural liberty in today's diverse world has very clearly said that modern India is facing a grave challenge to its constitutional commitment to multiple and complementary identities, with the rise of groups that seek to impose a singular identity on the country. This is a report, sir. When everything should be equal, but it's so. Sir, Dr. Ambedkar, whom we call the father of our Constitution, who was the chairman of the drafting committee of our Constitution, on December 2nd, 1948, during a lengthy discussion on Article 13 of the draft Constitution dealing with the fundamental right to profess any faith, referred to the Uniform Civil Code. That is awaiting. The Uniform Civil Code, that is your next thing you are going to take in your hands. Now the Muslims are affected. After the UCC, now some of the states which are ruled by BJP have already adopted it. When you bring it here, the Christians, the Sikhs, the Parsis. I'm not going. He spoke about that when he was speaking. When he was speaking on that, I am telling that it would be a if I read. Excuse me, Bhupenderji, you are well informed, I know. When I am reading out, I am quoting. He said that no government can exercise its power in such a manner as to provoke the Muslim community to rise in rebellion. It would be a mad government if it did so.
Yes.
Civil sanity
Dr. Ambedkar. And while talking about the idea of parliamentary democracy, as a democracy of majority, in his address at the Siddharth College Students' Parliament, Dr. Ambedkar said, "It is true that in our legislation, there is a rule that all questions shall be decided by a majority. But I could ask you to be very careful about that principle. It is one of the most dangerous principles that we have got." We are seeing that. Because of the majority this government is having, you are not doing anything good to the people. You don't consider everyone equal. As, what is that? Sabka
Saath Sabka Vikas.
Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. Like that, you don't see that. You say in every place, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. No, not in practice. You have a partisan eye, discrimination, exclusion. When these are being faced by one section of this nation, what is their future, sir? So, Ambedkar further went, sir, the majority rule has been admitted merely for reasons of convenience. But for God's sake, do not write that principle too much. You will create great deal of difficulties. Yes, we are facing it. He is a foresighted leader who has said that you will create great deal of difficulties. In a certain sense, the rule of majority is the wrong rule. Majority can be, but how it is being used? The majority in committees, they uphold whatever they want to. The parliament enacts whatever they want to. So, majority is not the rule against the minority. It has to embrace everyone. So, the people in this country, believing that it is a secular nation and we can live safely, and they have not resorted to any nation which pronounces or practices their faith, they believe that India is one and that is our motherland. Is it not the duty of this government? Ambedkar has argued that in a parliamentary democracy, minorities must always be won over, never to be dictated. One means not by a war, as it is being raged now. It should be by way of convincing. So he said, develop the art of public speaking and persuasion. So people's mind can be converted, changed, but not in any other manner. Sir, I am running short of time. Before you ring the bell, Sardar Patel.
I am not going to ring. To
Thank
speak.
you very much. Thank you very much. Sir, the bill which you proclaim to be, we have given some amendments which will say all about those things. The imposition, composition of the Central Waqf Council and boards to include non-Muslim members. Many others spoke that neither HRNC, Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowment, or Gurdwara, no other community or religion has another community. Why only in this? There are many such things. So I would say that the tallest statue you have raised for Sardar Patel, I have got great reverence for him. But for him, the India we are seeing today would not have been. He is called as the Iron Man of India. Because of him, this country, when it became independent, when it was shattered by and ruled by Maharajas and Nawabs and Nizams, he only made this country. I have much reverence, and they have much more. That's why they erected that statue. Sardar Patel, again to remind them, they often forget, conveniently. Sardar Patel spoke, he emphasized the importance of minorities, trusting the majority's good sense and fairness, advocating for a secular state where all communities feel equal and have a place in national life.
Yes.
Ma'am, you are here? Let me quote one Tirukkural. One of your favorite Tirukkural. Allal Puttu. Aatradu. அழுத கண்ணீர் அன்றே செல்வத்தை அழிக்கும் ஜெயிக்கும் படை. Sir, the tears that roll out of the people who suffer under a tyrannical rule, it will become flood and will dethrone the government. The tears of the minority.
Tiruchi Shiva, please allow me.
Ma'am, please.
Yes.
The tears of the minority community people in this country, especially today Muslims, tomorrow it will be Christians, tomorrow any other minority community, because of this government's approach, attitude, and all the steps you make, those tears will become flood and will wash away your government. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद माननीय मंत्री जी.
I'm sure Tiruchi Siva wouldn't mind it.